Hello, my name is Tony Litt. I'm the MD of Sunrise Radio, and it's my immense pleasure to bring you the official Sunrise Radio podcast. We are the #1 commercial Asian station in the United Kingdom, with many firsts to our name, and we continue to be the voice of British Asians who have given us their love and loyalty over 30 years. It's a legacy we cherish and a responsibility that we don't take lightly. Our aim has always been to entertain the listeners with the best of Bollywood and Bhangra, while also addressing their concerns. A real voice for the community, a vibrant community, and a great nation. We are proud to be British and Asian. This podcast is a compilation of some of the things we do on the station, with a stellar lineup of presenters who each have their own personality and style. It's entertaining, informative, engaging, and we hope you will enjoy it here as a podcast if you are unable to tune in to the radio. Don't forget to subscribe and tell your family and friends about this podcast. And do leave us a comment on what you think. We'd love to hear from you. All the best always. Team Sunrise.
The UK's biggest station mix. Sunrise Radio.
I have a lovely guest on the phone with me. She and I go back way, many years. And she's joining me on air because we wanted to talk about this lady. She's known by the name of Sadia Khan. She goes by the title psychologist, relationship psychologist, or whatever she does. But certain things have been emerging this week that allegedly she has lied about her qualifications, allegedly. And that she was also, there's a voice note doing the rounds that also she was cheating with a guy and then bragging about it to his fiancé. So all this has been going on, and I've got my friend who's an actual psychologist on the phone with me. Mamta, hello, darling. How are you?
Hello, Amit. I'm fantastic. Thank you. So good to be talking with you, as always.
So I think this is relatively new to you, but I would love to get your first thoughts on this whole story with her. What do you reckon?
Well, look, I have seen her around, and I didn't know her name, but when I looked her up, I was like, I know exactly who this woman is. I have seen many a sound bite by her, but I hadn't realised that she was claiming to be a psychologist, because she doesn't come across as one, to be honest with you. Not that psychologists, have a certain way or etiquette, but it's just that whenever she talks at a very surface level. It's about we should act like this and we shouldn't receive this kind of behaviour, or we should show up like that. There's no rigour or depth to it. So when I had learned about her claims, which, you shared with me earlier on, I was disappointed. And I'll tell you why I was disappointed, because people are trusting her. She's got a massive following, and I saw many people that I know who are following her, so mutual connections, and I'm following her myself. So she must have said something that made me think, oh, really interesting. But I just think it's sad and disappointing, and I'm glad that she's been caught. I'm glad that she's been called out, and we need to, people need to hear the truth about this woman.
Yeah, absolutely right. And the thing about her as well, and just influencers like that in general, there is a certain sheen that they can have that people would naturally gloss over looking into anything like that, because you automatically take authority from the number of followers they got.
Yeah.
The fact that they've associated with, other influencer people. So I didn't see this personally, but someone mentioned that she was on Jay Shetty's podcast earlier this year. She's done, I think I haven't seen it, but someone definitely said that she had been, she's been on a podcast with Andrew Tate. She was on Lewis Howe's recently, or at least, 6 months back. So you get all of this, and then what happens is people forget to question it, right? And here you go, someone who's got now literal influence, and then that power can get abused, right?
Absolutely. And I think people's heads are turned so easily these days, and not just these days, for many years. And I've seen it, and it's so frustrating, because you think about the real hustlers out there, the real psychologists. Like, I work really hard. I've got about 10 followers. No, I haven't really. But,
you got a few more than that.
I've got about 3,000 something. But look, the thing is, this is what people need to start to question. I'm not doing what I do for the followers. I couldn't care less how many followers I have. I'm true to my profession. And I think people's heads are really easily turned when they see high numbers, that blue tick. They see that they've been on Jay Shetty's podcast, who also has had many a question about his authenticity and how, like, his background and how legitimate he is. So I don't know if you've seen any of that, Amit, but maybe that's another conversation for another day. But he has been questioned as well and called out as a fraud in some places by the Guardian.
Do you know what? It cut off for me as well. Who did you mention just then?
Jay Shetty.
Yes, yeah. This was a while ago, and I think I did comment on this back then. And it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because you get to a stage where someone's, has now put in the groundwork, has done lots of work, like writing books and stuff, and then you can see, there is a little bit more of an authority there. So
I know
it is a tricky one, though. It's a tricky one.
It is really tricky, but I just think that we must never take anything at face value, and it's such a shame that we have to question it, because look, these things are coming out, and then there's a sense of betrayal I'm sure people are feeling now, because they probably trusted this woman, taken advice from her, only to find out that she's been a fraud all along and has been doing the very thing that she's like kind of condemning, like, which is having an affair with a man who's already engaged. And I heard that voice note, and it was, unfortunately, it was just of a different class. And I don't mean to sound like a snob, but it really was very, and I thought, gosh, I'm immediately unfollowing this woman, because I don't want to be associated to anyone like her. It's just appalling.
It's so true. What caught my attention specifically, and what's another two things that are interesting, because I literally just went on her Instagram just now, and actually since I last checked, she's actually gone up by 1,000 followers. What was it? No. What's the word? No publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then the other thing that really caught my eye that I mentioned and I talked about on TikTok and Instagram today was that she apparently has a workshop this weekend, and one of the things that it discusses is preventing infidelity. And I was like, you cannot make it up, and I was like, that is just insane. So yeah, what's your thoughts on
this
that?
This call is no longer being recorded.
Well, I just think that, people teach what they often need to learn. I mean, I just sit with myself, actually. Like, with others are often the very things that I actually need to work on myself, which is why I'm drawn to actually sharing them with others, because it gives me the opportunity to delve in and learn. So it doesn't surprise me, actually. And it reassures me, because I've never spoken about infidelity or like dealing with things like that. So I'm just like, for you, there's no like subconscious thing going on here which portrays me as a bad person or a cheating wife. But yeah, it's really, I find it really interesting. And there's something about a denial here. So if I put my psychologist hat well and truly on, she is in denial. She is trying to claim that she's an angel. She can't do any wrong. She knows better. She's got the higher ground. So what she's subconsciously doing, and Jung would be very impressed with my analysis, I've got to say, would be that she's hiding her shadow side. So her shadow side is someone who does like to meander in marital affairs. It's someone who does like to sabotage other people's relationships. It is someone who is very provocative and disrespectful in doing so. And so she's got kind of two sides. I don't know if she can be trusted. I certainly wouldn't trust her, because she's giving off this vibe, this impression that she can't do any wrong. She's, she's got the halo effect in terms of bias. There's the halo. But what we're now seeing is that actually the horn effect. She's got horns. She could be like, acting like a little devil, It'd be interesting to see what comes of this, because I was reading the comments about her workshop. I know she switched those comments off, but there's so much positivity around it. It's like, oh, can't wait, where is it? I wish I could come, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, are people actually going to clock on? Because, with the Jay Shetty thing, there was this big kerfuffle around his authenticity, his legitimacy, and doing what he does. But it's sort of been blown over now because of his scale. And we don't really talk about it that much. So it'd be interesting to see where this goes, Amit.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned about her switching off her comments, and another thing on that as well. Yeah, and I saw some of those comments about her workshop. But what's interesting is one of the influencers who broke this story and has a lot more information than everyone else is saying that basically he's been contacted by her solicitors, whatever, and that they're going to sue for defamation. And
wow, interesting.
Yeah, so this influencer has got a lawyer on board ready to defend and take it, ready to take it on. Say, bring it on,
okay?
Because they've got receipts to go with it. So, and I think that's a very big telltale sign. I think it's a huge telltale.
Bringing the lawyers in.
When someone cannot accept any sort of accountability or responsibility, or just accept that they were a little bit naughty and wrong, and they've done something which they know they did intentionally, then it really gives an insight into who that person is, and it's showing her true colours now at this point.
Absolutely, it takes a really big person sense of a strong character for someone to hold their hands up and say, do you know what? Actually, on reflection, that was really not good practice. Imagine if she'd done that, Amit. I'd have so much respect for her. Yeah. Imagine if when she was, because I watched the video clip that you sent me of the interview of where she's being exposed. I watched the long version. And if she had said, thank you for sharing this, because I haven't actually spoken about this, and this is something that I'm not really proud of doing, and it's what's inspired me to do this work now, I would have been like, wow, oh my God, I want to talk to you more, I want to hear your story, like, I really feel compassion for you. But unfortunately, what she's done is, by bringing the lawyers into this, she's dug a deeper hole. Yeah. People will be
She's
more
doubled
curious.
down, right? She's doubled down.
Yeah, she's doubled down, and they're going to be more curious, and they want to know. They'll want to know more, and things are going to come out of the woodwork. There's no smoke without fire, is there?
And what do we know about people who double down and gaslight in this way? We know that there tends to be a bit of a narcissistic trait, doesn't it? So
100%. I was thinking that, actually. You're right. You're so right. I mean, it's like almost like a sociopath personality, because she's got that angel side and she's got that devil side as well.
And they start to believe their own stuff then in the end as well. They start to believe themselves. They gaslight so well that they almost believe themselves.
I know, it is scary, and I think she's originally from London, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe she is as well. I've not looked into her full history, so I believe that is the case. But listen, one last message before we wrap this up to all the listeners out there who are following influencers, taking their advice. What would you say to them as someone who's kind of got a very good background in this area? What would you say to everyone?
I would say stop following her and start following me and Amit. I am
I love it.
_Mamta Saha, Saha_Mamta, and Amit Sodha. If you're not already following him, I'll be having words with you, because he's the best DJ in town and he's amazing. And I would say, guys, please don't be so gullible. Honestly, just because someone has 50 billion followers or however many does not make them saintly. So let it go. And also think about how, trust your gut a little. Listen to their messages. How is this making me feel? Is this hooking onto a vulnerability I've got? Is this the best advice I'm hearing? I don't know. Just do your research before you start investing too much in these so-called gurus, because they're not always what you seem. And lastly, again, if you're not following Amit or me, what are you doing? Honestly, unfollow Sadia Khan now.
I love it. I absolutely love it. You are a superstar for joining me on air today. We must do brunch again soon. Listen, have a lovely weekend with you and your family. Yeah. God bless, my darling.
Much. You take care. Lots of love.
Ciao.
Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Catch our love guru, Amit Sodha, between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. every Sunday for that chill out zone.